What's up YouTube, thank you for tuning in. This is Jet Gaming here, back with another video for you guys today. And today's video is a Gen 4 OU Wi-Fi battle. If you guys are wanting to know how to play Gen 4 and Gen 5 again and battle with others online, I will leave a couple video tutorials down in the description, as well as some Discord servers that can also give you guys a hand on this. So without further ado, let's get on to the battle. Alright guys, so I'm going to lead off with my Jirachi, as they're going to lead off with Yuxi. My Jirachi does have a choice scarf, so I decided I'm just going to use Trick just so that this choice scarf goes onto this Yuxi. And I know Yuxi doesn't have that much offensive presence, so pretty much cripples it. Instead, he goes for Thunder Wave here, and the choice scarf basically ensures that they're locked into Thunder Wave. So this gives me a free turn to set up my Stealth Rocks, and I'm going to go for Rocks, obviously, as I switch out into Swampert. Swampert's going to go for Stealth Rocks as well, and I'm going to go right for the U-turn, just because I was expecting to die that turn because of Earthquake, but obviously that didn't happen. I'm going to go out into my Starmie here just to spin away these rocks, because these Stealth Rocks are pretty important, and I don't like taking so much damage anyways. So I'm going to go for the Rapid Spin here to get rid of these rocks, and Swampert's going to use Roar, and I'm going to get sent out into my own Swampert, which is a Choice Band Swampert, which has, I believe, what was it? I think it was Ice Punch, Earthquake, Waterfall, and I believe Superpower. But regardless, I'm going to go right for the Waterfall here. This is a banded Waterfall, so this is going to do quite a bit of damage to other Swampert. Swampert's going to go for Stealth Rock again. And at this point, I figured, if I go for another Waterfall, whatever comes in, if he decides to switch out, it's going to take a lot of damage. But instead, he leaves his Swampert in here to die to the Waterfall. So I'm at the point where I could just stay in, maybe go for another Waterfall, depending, but whatever. Decides to go into Machamp here and use Dynamic Punch, and I later find out that this Machamp is actually Choice Scarf. I was actually, giving him advice on his team. I always recommend attacking lead Machamp, but it's whatever. Or even Bandit out. I don't know, I'm not really big of a fan of Choice Scarf. But anyways, I'm going to go right for the Waterfall because I break through Confusion, and I do quite a bit of damage to this Machamp. And I'm going to switch out and go into my Zapdos here because I know another Dynamic Punch is probably coming, and I know I could live any hit, basically, because this is a defensive Zapdos. So, of course, I'm going to get confused from the Dynamic Punch. I'm going to get Leftovers Recovery. He's going to switch out Machamp into his Heatran. Now, this thing was pretty dangerous in my opinion. I was going to go for the Discharge. Yeah, I go for Discharge here. And I get quite a bit of damage there. I was hoping to paralyze him, but obviously that didn't happen. So I'm going to get hit with the Confusion here, which sucks, but it's Pokemon. You can't do much about it. He's going to go for Overheat here, and at this point I kind of figured he was Choice Specs, because I know a lot of Heatran that use Overheat are usually Choice Specs or even Choice Scarf. So he has to be choiced in some way. And you know what? I decided to go out to my Starmie here just to get rid of these rocks again. Goes out into Yuxi here, and Yuxi is going to take quite a bit of damage from the Stealth Rocks as well. I'm going to go for Rapid Spin again just to get some more damage and to get rid of these rocks. Leftovers Recovery. And I'm going to switch out into my Bronzong here because I was kind of predicting him to go for, I don't know, what was it, Thunder Wave maybe or something, but he instead goes for U-turn and then brings out Heatran. I'm going to switch out into my Starmie here because I know whatever move this Heatran goes for, I could possibly live it. And I'm going to take quite a bit of damage, actually, from that Specs Heatran here. And this is when I definitely knew it was Specs, because I know that this is kind of a bulkier Starmie, and that did way too much damage. But he's going to switch out into his Togekiss as I go for the Hydro Pump, because I think the Hydro Pump was the better option instead of going for things like Thunderbolt or Ice Beam. But I do quite a bit of damage to this Togekiss here, and then I find out that it's the Leftovers Togekiss, so I don't have to fear him outspeeding me. So I'm going to go for Thunderbolt right away. just to get some damage on this Togekiss. And turns out I end up paralyzing him, and then he goes for Thunder Wave. He actually told me he wasn't expecting to live the Thunderbolt there, or any move from Starmie for that matter. So then I was like, you know what? I think this would be a perfect time to just go for a Thunderbolt, because I know for a fact that he's probably not going to have any Stealth Rocks up anytime soon. But, of course, realize that Uxie has it. But I go for Ice Beam here as they go into Uxie. And I'm going to get more Leftovers Recovery. I'm going to switch this thing out and go into Jirachi, because I was predicting him to go for like Stealth Rocks again, or even like a U-turn. But instead he goes for Heal Bell and he switches out into Togekiss here. But since I have Stealth Rocks up, this Togekiss is not living, and it's going to faint here. And then I was going to go for U-turn here just to get some momentum, but obviously that didn't happen. And at this point, I was like, you know what, I'm going to stay in with Jirachi, Death Potter this thing. So I go for Trick here, but he uses Earth Power, which really confused me. If I was in his shoes, though, I would have just went for the Overheat here, but obviously that didn't happen. I'm going to go for Trick here to give him Leftovers and to see what he had, and he had Choice Specs. So at this point, I was like, that's why you did so much damage to my Zapdos and everything. So then he's going to go for Overheat here, which he should have used in the first place, because that would have definitely knocked out Jirachi, but it's whatever. He's going to get Leftovers Recovery thanks to the Trick there, and then I'm going to go out to my Bronzong here, because I know whatever he's going to do, he's not going to do much. And I was like, you know, I'm going to go for Earthquake here, thinking I could knock out this Heat Ram. But of course, he switches out into Uxie, like the big boy play, and then he's going to go for Stealth Rocks again. And at this point, I kind of figured, you know what, I should just set up Trick Room and potentially sweep his team with Bronzong, which I proceed to do. So now I'm going to go for Gyro Ball and just pretty much one-shot everything because of the Stealth Rocks, and a lot of his Mons still had some damage done to them prior, like this Machamp. So I'm going to go for Gyro Ball again, and his Machamp is gone. And then he's going to send out Yanmega, which is going to take 50% HP damage because of the Stealth Rocks, because it's Bug and Flying. And I'm going to go for another Gyro Ball, which knocks out this Yanmega, because Yanmega is pretty fast and Bronzong's very slow. I think this thing only has like 91 speed. And I also have a Macho Brace on as well. But then he's going to send out his Heatran, and he's going to take more Stealth Rock damage, and I'm just going to use Earthquake and pretty much end the game there. So this was a really fun battle, and I really want to do more of these Gen 4 OU Wi-Fi battles. So if you guys want to do more Wi-Fi battles with me, hit me up on Discord. I'll leave everything down in the description, and I hope you guys have a nice